Welcome to Good News You Can Use, episode 3. Thanks for joining us today. This is Good News You Can Use featuring the media maven, Raven Blair Glover. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh my goodness, I am so excited. Thank you, Jeff, for co-hosting this show with me. And thank all of you for tuning in and watching because we've got good news that you can use. And Jeff and I love bringing this to you on Wednesdays because not only does it uplift our day, but we're hearing that it uplifts others' day. And that's what this is about, right, Jeff? We want to
Yes.
lift them up. And what a great lift up that we had first thing this week, Monday, when the Pfizer vaccine distribution had begun. Shipments started coming in all over. We watched the first lady, I forgot what state it was, get her shot, and she didn't even flinch. I think it was in Michigan, I'm not sure, but she didn't even flinch. Did you see that?
It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yes, it was so amazing. I don't know how they're going to distribute this evenly. I know they're going back and forth with, starting out for sure with the frontline people that working at the hospital and stuff, which is understandable. Of course, the president and vice president that's in office now, the ones coming, they're saying they should be next. And, I don't know when my term is coming, as a senior citizen, but, at first I was a little, kind of leery about it, like a lot of people. How did you feel when you first heard about it, Jeff? Were you like, hey, sign me up, I'm ready, or what?
I'll be honest, I've kind of, you go first. It's good, and in all seriousness, it needs to go to the people that are highest risk. We need to take care of the people that are in the high risk categories, that if they do catch the COVID virus, that it will, it's very, very serious, because there are, there's risk factors. If you're older, if you have underlying health issues, those make it way, even more intense, even way worse. So I think we should start there. Where's it going to do the most good?
I absolutely agree with that. And whenever my turn comes, I feel like this, I'll be more educated. I'm like you, I'm watching, I'm observing, because I'm in my late 60s. I've got a couple underlying conditions. And so I'm not really ready to be first. And I'm an African American, and we already are on reserved on this. And so, I'm not running. But I think by the time it comes my way and it's our turn, my husband and our turn, I think we'll be ready. And he's a researcher, Jeff, like you, so he's researching, he's watching, and I think we'll be ready. It's really nice to have something though, and that, I guess that's what the main good news is today, regardless where you stand, is that some kind of solution is happening, Jeff. How about that?
Exactly. After all we've been through this year, and there were a lot of very knowledgeable professionals saying, hey, look, there's no way we're going to be able to have a vaccine for at least a year, maybe even 2 years. And guess what? Here we are, less than a year. The vaccine's out. And because of all the uncertainty that we've experienced this year, all the heartache and fear, I have to admit, there's that part of me that goes, I would have watched some other people take the vaccine first. But in reality, after I sat down and thought that through, I was going, you know what? I'm just astounded at the ability of, it shows once again what we're able to do in America when we pull together and focus on an issue that needs attention, needs to be addressed, and take positive action.
Yeah.
And I just, and again, that I hope that they release it in a way that it's going where it's going to do the most good and protect people that are at the highest risk first, and then let the rest of us have an opportunity from there.
And that's super important, taking care of the people that are at the highest risk. But can you imagine being someone that works every day in the hospital and see all these people suffering? They have children and family too. Can you imagine what a relief this is for many of them to say, hey, well, at least we can do our work and not worry as much as we worry, because they hug those people because they don't have other families, and they're really putting themselves at risk. So, I am just so excited that they are the first ones to get an opportunity to take this. And so far, good news, thumbs up.
Mhm.
No issues so far, so that's a good thing. So what do you got for good news for us today?
We've got a great story about kids helping other kids cope with the COVID virus. Before we move to that, though, just as you're watching this, tell us what your thoughts are on this. The announcement with Pfizer releasing the vaccine, and then you're starting to see the vaccine get to people that need it. Share that in the comments. We want to hear from. This is an interactive dialogue, and we want to share good news with you. And we're hoping that you've got good news to share back, and we want to hear your thoughts and how you're feeling about that. How how it impacts you as well. Now, coming to the kids helping kids, there is a 10-year-old girl who was struggling with her fears with the coronavirus and had worked with her mom to put together a series of videos and used YouTube to communicate with other young kids on how can they cope. And we've got a quick video to share. Now, the links, everything we're going to talk about today, we're going to keep it short for you and impactful, hopefully. And the links will be in the description for today's episode. But here's a quick clip from, now imagine this, 10 years old, and she put this together with her mom.
Hi everyone. I know it's important not to come in contact with others, but I really miss having playdates with my friends. My mom suggested I use Zoom because it's free right now. Some of my friends use Portal, or they use their phones to FaceTime. If you have the same password as your friends, you can each.
So it's just amazing what she's done in putting that together. It's a high quality video, there's a whole series of clips, and they're just a minute to 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
The shares to go, hey, here's what I'm doing. How about you? But it also puts it in a fun cartoon. And I thought that was great because even as an adult, one of my things with with staying at home as much as possible has been, I love to go out and play, and I'm missing that.
Yeah, I love this story because Sydney and her mom, Melissa, I think Sydney and her mom wrote the script when she was like 9 years old. Now she's 10, and it's a whole series. And I think what the viewers will love about this, Jeff, is it's if you got little kids or grandkids that are staying at your house, this is something that you can put on that's going to bring a smile at a much needed time, Jeff, because imagine, I can't even imagine with my ADHD and everything as a kid, having to stay home and be confined and not go to school and stuff. They're having such a hard time. But I watched a couple of these series and they're really cute. This one that you showed, Jeff, is about, having and creating a play date on Zoom. Here again, it shows that the technology that we have right now, I mean, that's good news. Like we said last week, Jeff, it's Can you just imagine, as tough as it is now, I want the viewers and the listeners to really tune into this. As tough as it is now for us and our kids, imagine if this would have happened decades ago when we didn't have Zoom, when we didn't have StreamYard, when we didn't have all the technology that we have now. OMG.
Right, when we had 3 television stations plus maybe a PBS station, depending on where you lived, that went off the air at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night.
Absolutely. And in the middle of a pandemic, to not have the technology we have now. So applause to technology, and a big, huge clap and applause for Sydney and her mom, Melissa, in writing this script. I don't know if they did the whole production on it, but I know I read deeper that they did write the script, and it came from, the pain that her daughter was in and the pain that she felt other kids her age wasn't. What a good news you could use story is that. For sure. Absolutely. Well, watch that video on YouTube, I think, right?
Yes, they have a YouTube channel set up, and it goes to the title of one of the other videos, which shows where this young girl is coming from is, how can I help?
Mm-hmm.
So
How
here
can I?
she is looking at, and it's a great, I thought about that going, wow, as an adult, what a powerful lesson that is for me. As you're watching this, think about that. How does this play out in your life? She's looking at, I'm in fear. I'm beginning to suffer from this. It's like, well, wait a minute. What can I do about that? How
Yeah.
can I take positive action? How can I help others that are, my own age that are experiencing this? And she
Yes.
took a look at, I can decide to sit in the suffering, or I can decide to move towards, towards a more happy, joyful experience. What can I do? And
Yeah. That's awesome. I think right now they only have 3 or 5
wow.
episodes.
Mhm.
I love, she has how can we say thank you? What can I do to help? What can I do for fun? And how can I arrange play dates? Those are the
Yeah.
ones they have right now. And I kind of watched, I think, at least 2 or almost 3 of them. I can't wait for some more. And it was really refreshing and nice. And what's showing on YouTube is short, but
Mhm.
it's really cute, very well done, and it just shows you that us humans are pretty cool. I mean, we even to the youngest, we have these very creative ideas. And I know as a coach, I always learn that the best things come from the pain that you have when you can get past
Mm.
yourself and create a solution for others. And that's exactly what 10-year-old Sydney and her mom, Melissa, did. Isn't that
Mhm.
amazing?
It is.
Incredible. Incredible. Okay, I got a story for us. That's definitely good news you can use. And let me just bring up my notes here. Okay, so this story, Jeff, is
Mhm.
one of positive attitude, warm nature, and a lot of love, and how it really shined through. Her name is Lisa Legrishi. She's a 60-year-old Plymouth Township, Ohio woman. Started helping out delivering food to children who needed it. And she did this without a second thought. And the reason I say without a second thought, because Lisa has volunteered her entire life. First as a hospital candy striper. I remember doing that. That ain't no easy job. A Girl Scout trooper leader. She was even a funeral luncheon coordinator and an executive board member for several nonprofit organizations. Now, she loves giving her time to help others. Lisa has been serving her community in her entire life and is willing to put herself at risk during this pandemic for this. For what? To deliver food to those children that are hungry.
Wow.
Here's where the story gets a special loving twist. Oh, you guys are going to love this. Mr. Legricio came across a contest hosted by the popular amusement park in Ohio, Cedar Point. It was called Everyday Heroes, Jeff. And winners would receive 4 lifetime tickets for admission to Cedar Point Park. And that's a big, popular park in Ohio. Mr. Legricio, wrote a nomination letter on her behalf. And sure enough, Lisa Legricio was selected as one of the 15 winners, making her one of Ohio's everyday heroes. Is that incredible or what?
It sure is. It sure is. The fact that she's willing to go the extra mile like that, and that and then she gets a reward. She wasn't doing it for the reward. It just happened to be something that came from the good work she was doing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, congratulations.
Yeah, it reminds me of Zig Ziglar's great quote that if you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. And I think both of the
Yeah.
stories featured so far shows that exactly. And when I heard that, I'm like, I wonder what I could coax my husband into writing. No, I'm just kidding. Her husband gladly did this for her because he knew that she had volunteered all her life. And remember,
Yeah.
she's what they consider high at risk.
Yeah.
She's 60 years old. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and she wants to volunteer to deliver this food so that no kid would go hungry on her watch. Okay,
Mhm.
and applaud her. Another good news you can use story. So it got me to thinking, what else can I do? And we love to invite our viewers and listeners, as you know, Jeff, to
Mhm.
interact with us and let us know what you liked about both of these stories the most. And did they give you any ideas? Because we talked about two people that did some really creative things to get past their pain. Well, I guess she wasn't having a pain on this, but this is something she wanted to do. She wanted to give back to her community, something she's done her whole life.
And knowing that she was in the high risk category, so she stepped into that situation at considerable risk to herself,
Mm-hmm.
so that the special needs kids on her bus route, even though the school was shut down, would still get the food that they needed because they were depending on meals from school.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? I'm willing to take that risk in order to be of service to these special needs kids that have really been put in a tough situation because of the pandemic.
Yeah. Well, I know we got so much more we want to say, but we have got to. I know you got one more story you want to share. Is that correct, Jeff?
I would love to, but we're out of time. Unfortunately, we have as you're watching this today, we have a hard stop due to some infrastructure maintenance that's happening here on my end. That's going to force us to close out before top of the hour. So,
well, we'll get to the next time. We're going to come back on. I think it's January 6th. We're going to take a break. And kind of enjoy the Christmas holiday, I call it exhale. But we'll be back Wednesday, January 6th at a new time, right, Jeff?
Yes, it will be 7 a.m. Still on Wednesday morning, but it'll be 7 a.m. Pacific time, but it'll be 10 a.m. Eastern time. So we're looking forward to having you join us in the new year for more good news you can use.
And until then, stay safe and stay healthy. And remember, it's not just about you, it's about everybody that you come in contact with. So wear your mask. It's uncomfortable, but it's going to be okay. That's a wrap for us. Until next time, have a happy and safe holiday. And we will see you in 2021. I can't believe it.
Looking forward to turning the page on 2020.
Yes, absolutely. All right.